In this recording, I wanted to show you, let's say, the most advanced way to deal with GitHub repositories and to download code from GitHub, edit them, and push them back again, and without using any other software other than Git on the terminal itself. Now, I don't think many people need to do this if they're data scientists or researchers, but some situations do require this kind of setup, and it is a little more complicated. So what we've got here is a repository on my GitHub account, which is private. I want to get it, download it to my desktop, and just using the terminal itself. So from Launchpad, other terminal. Now previously I made sure that the Xcode command line tools were installed, and that installs a version of Git already. So I have the Git command line already there. Now let's see how this goes. We need to, at some point we'll need to configure, and I think straight away, we'll need to have some way to prove that we are allowed to access this repository. So if I try to just copy the code directly now, so clicking the code button, clicking SSH, then it's already warning us this is not going to work. But if once we've set it up, we would click code SSH, then click this button here to copy the URL to the clipboard. And then in the terminal, we would change directory to where we want the repository to be downloaded to the desktop, and then write git space clone space, and then paste that git URL in. If we hit enter now, okay, it looks like it's doing something. Okay, so do we trust that github.com is reliable? Yes. Okay, and then it crashed. Make sure that you have the correct access rights. So the reason is that this is a private repository, and GitHub won't let anybody except me or people that I've added to this repository download it, make changes, or push changes to it. Now, this is my repository, so I need to make my computer have some kind of token, so to prove that this really is me, and I should be allowed to access this. That's what this SSH key is here. So let's see. No, I won't go through that way. So to make this SSH key, what I'll do is I'll go back to the home folder, and I'm going to reveal hidden folders. So I don't know how to do that other than type in Command-Shift full stop on a Mac. And we can see all these hidden files and folders appear. And the reason is, in a moment we'll have a, oh, here we go. We want to create a new key inside this hidden folder.ssh. So at the moment, there's no keys in here. What we can do is make one though. So there's a command on the terminal that we do is just an initial setup for this machine, ssh-keygen. Just hit enter. Now, what it's doing now is asking where should we save this key. It will generate a key which is two different files, a public and a private file. It's come up with some kind of gibberish name inside the .ssh folder. That's fine. I'll just accept that default by hitting enter. Now I can put a password on it so that every time I need to use this key, I need to type in this password. I don't bother doing that normally. I just leave it empty. So enter, and then enter again. We get a bit of alien art here, gobbledygook. And we get two new files created here. The second one is the public one, the .pub And let's open that up with say text edit. That didn't work. Open with text edit. There we go. So this is sort of a code that we need to give to GitHub to say, okay, this code, if you receive it, that means it's coming from my computer and I'm allowed to access the things in my GitHub. So where do we add that? Inside here, if we're in somewhere in GitHub logged in, click on our portrait, go to settings, and then on the left, SSH and GPG keys, click on that. And then here we go, make a new SSH key. And this is where we sort of dump it in here. So go back to that public one, just copy all that, and then paste it in here. It's an authentication key. A title, this doesn't matter, but I usually put the name of the computer that I'm actually authenticating so that I know looking in the future, maybe I change computers, I can delete some of these keys. MacBook Pro, okay, add. Okay, now it will ask me to put my password in again just to be doubly safe. Okay, now we should be able to run the command we did before. So going back to the repository, if we click the code button, SSH, and then the copy command, this is what we want to clone. In the terminal, if I'm still in the desktop area, maybe okay, before I leave this folder for good, I'll point out that this other file is sort of the secret part of this key. So this is the public part that you're allowed to copy and show to anybody. This is the private part that you should keep hidden. Don't copy that anywhere, don't give that to anybody. Otherwise, they'll be able to download and access your GitHub. It's kind of like storing the password in this file. Okay, now we'll go back to the desktop to see what happens now if we start making changes. So if we go git, clone, and then paste that URL in, hit enter. Now that worked. It downloaded everything. We can still see these hidden files and folders because I turned that on earlier. There's a hidden.git folder in here. So that is actually storing all the history of this repository. You never want to actually go in here and change anything. So I'm going to just hit Command Shift full stop again to rehide the hidden folders. But just for the sake of making a change, let's open that with text edit, print. Here I am using SSH keys. Save that and close it. I made some kind of wonderful change to my file. Now I want to update it to GitHub. The way to do that is what I normally do is I type git status, git space status, hit enter, and that failed because actually my terminal is still up in the desktop folder. It's not even in the Git repository. I need to sort of go into this folder here, cd testing GitHub, enter. Now try that again, git status. I can see that there's been some modifications to the hello.py file. If I wanted to see what changed, git space diff hello.py. I can see, okay, we've added this one line of code here. Great, I want to keep that. To do that, I do git space add hello.py. Now, the status, if I did that again, would show that this is something that's ready to be committed. We modified this and it's ready to be committed. To commit it, git space commit, and then to put the message in, you go -m and then in quotations what you changed. So added a new print call with SSH keys. Like that. Hit enter. Now we've got the situation where our local version of the repository is one commit ahead of the GitHub version. So going back to GitHub, refreshing this, we'll see nothing's changed. But if we git push, voila, that should have pushed an update here. If I hit refresh, we can see that commit that just happened now, add the new print call, and there it is. So this is actually how I use Git a lot of the time. The SSH key setup, you only need to do this once for each computer that you want to use with GitHub, and it's a little confusing the first time you do it, or everything, a bit of alien stuff printed out and whatever, but it's not too big a deal to set up. You just sort of do it once, forget about it, and then from there, all your authentication to GitHub or other kinds of Git storage locations are very straightforward. Okay, I think I'll leave it there for that one.